say uhuru. Uhuru means freedom, all right? Yeah. So I'm gonna say one more time, uhuru. I'm like, uhuru. There we go. I love it. Yeah, so my name is Devon. I'm part of the InPDUM, also known as the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, and this was founded in 1991 as part of the African People's Socialist Party. And the reason as to why it's founded is just so we could have red peace and black power, and it's the leading organization in the 21st century in doing so. So we're gathered here today on the first Sunday of our Sunday Mass rally, and at the Tuudi Maha Garden, and the purpose of this gathering is in order for us to build back black power, in order for us to continue the liberation struggle, and in order for us to bring the politics directly here to the people. So right now we're going to start off with PE.
As we all recognize that our community is constantly under attack, especially today with this new regime that's running the colonial state. They attack every aspect of our life to keep us from realizing self-determination and black power. That's what black power really means, is that self-determination of the African nation. We're not talking about African people, African individuals. We're talking about the whole entire African nation on the continent and throughout diaspora, including here in the United States. And this whole system rests on the kidnapping, exploitation, stolen labor, stolen land from African people in Africa. Africa is the place that feeds the whole colonial mode of production. Whether it's here in America, whether it's in England, wherever European colonizers are, including Israel, is those monies and resources began with the attack on Africa. 600 years of stolen labor, stolen land, and stolen resources. Every day, resources are coming out of Africa, going to Europe, America, and other places, while African people on the continent around the world is in poverty, is being exploited. And every aspect that we do in terms of regaining that self-determination becomes an attack. Our organization, the African People's Socialist Party, recently was under attack because they accused us of being agents for the Russians, as if we have no agency for ourselves to determine the actions that we take to free ourselves. We don't need the Russians to do that. We don't need anybody else to do that. That's what we do in terms of self-determination and black power. That's why we have to have black power. Life requires it. To sustain life, you have to have power. Life came in existence through powerful forces. And if you don't have power, you become a slave, or you become colonized, or you be exploited. You have to have power. And that is the central question for black people, other people around the world. We have to have self-determination. And for black people, African people, that means black power, black self-determination. And this piece, we're going to hear a little piece from our chairman, Amali Yessa Taylor, who's the head of the African People's Socialist Party and the entire Uhuru movement. We're talking about the attacks on our so-called democratic rights via the Voting Act, etc. So we're going to listen to that, and then we're going to come back and have a little discussion around this speech that Chairman made. Uhuru.
Okay, yeah. This is an important discussion that we're having now. We're talking about electropolitics. I think, first of all, it's important for us to recognize that, generally speaking, politics is electropolitics. The voting process itself is like a nonviolent contest between sectors of the ruling class for control of the state in what is called a bourgeois democracy. The ruling class gets involved for control of the state. It's an ongoing struggle about who's going to control the state apparatus. You know what I mean by the state? Say it again. But it's the, you hear I'm talking about now, they talk about stuff like the deep state, but up until recently, they didn't even acknowledge the existence of the state. They try to give the state, as it relates to their present regime, some kind of special significance, but the state is a bureaucracy, that it is connected to the military, the FBI, CIA, all the organs of coercion, the state. And it is something that serves the interests of the ruling class. And so the ruling class needs this state to carry out its mission, carry out its interests, its own profit-making interests. So there is this thing they call democracy here, where the ruling class fights among itself for control of the state. But they don't have to pull out guns most of the time. They have done it. We've seen assassination of presidents and other people who are running for office, and you see threats of it, and almost with this current regime, this process that they're engaged in now. But it's generally speaking a nonviolent contest for control of the state. And how does the ruling class participate? It purchases the people who are running for office. Most of what you see in terms of these candidates, they're auditioning. They're auditioning for the ruling class. And like in the presidential election, as an example, I'm sure it happens on lower levels too, but certainly in presidential election, you will find that there's no presidential election where the campaign manager, for most of them, are not what they call lobbyists, some lobbyists. They work for major corporations. And so that's what the elections are. But it's a system that's established for protection of the system. It's established for the protection of the system, not for its overthrow, not to overturn the system, but to protect it. And so it allows these persons who are auditioning for support from the ruling class, they craft programs and things like that that appeal to different sectors of the ruling class. Now, if the ruling class is very split, like it has been in this last period, for example, when Donald John Trump ran for office in 2016, there was something like, I think it was 17, 18 different candidates for president. And it meant that the ruling class was split. And they were supporting all of these different forces until the election, actually occurred. So that's one thing I think is really important for us to understand. There's no mystery about it. Jesus didn't make elections, not in the Bible that you have to have elections or something like that. It's a means by which the ruling class contends with each other in a nonviolent way for control of the state apparatus to its profit-making advantage. But it's set up for them, not for us. And in fact, when we intrude into this process, it got extremely vicious and dangerous. That's when you saw the civil rights movement and all that stuff where they're bombing churches and killing people just for trying to participate, to join Joe Biden's organization. Democratic Party, people were being killed, churches bombed, and things like that. There was a presumption that African people should not participate in this even nonviolent contest for control of the state. But it's there. It's their apparatus. And what we have done is we have engaged them in this struggle using the electoral process. And one of the things that made it difficult for us to do this, when I say us, I'm talking about Africans, and particularly those who were characterized as militants and revolutionaries, et cetera. You have to remember that the Voting Rights Act that created universal suffrage in this country only occurred in 1965. But what else happened in 1965 that was meaningful for African people? What else happened? The assassination of Malcolm X. We saw in '68 the assassination of Martin Luther King. We saw revolutionaries being crushed and killed all around this country. '69, the Panther 21, the Fred Hampton kill. During the '60s, this whole thing of killing revolutionaries so that no revolutionary project was going to make it to the electoral agenda, even if we wanted to. So then the only thing you saw with the elections, only thing you had to vote for was something that the Democratic Party put forward, and that never was the Black Panther Party. And that was something that had nothing to do with revolution and the struggles that we were involved in. So it was a turnoff for many Africans, revolutionaries, because we got faced with the question of revolution or electoral politics. And that's how it was, it got framed. And it got framed that way again because revolutionaries were being killed every place. So our agenda was never making it to the electoral process. You saw later on efforts were made, 1972. I think it was the National Black Convention that happened in Gary, Indiana, where something like 9,000 African people showed up. You had, it was co-hosted by Amiri Baraka, who was a flaming black nationalist, revolutionary sometime. And then you had the first black mayor in Gary. What was his name? Somebody say it quickly. Hatcher. And so these were the co-conveners. It was a really dynamic and powerful opening statement that they put it forward. We were there at that conference. And after they were going to create our own independent black union. They were going to create perhaps a black political party, all that stuff. But the others who were there were like Hatcher, associates of the Democratic Party. So they talked all that talk. But when that thing was over, before most of them were able to catch their flight out of Gary, Indiana, the Democratic Party had pulled the plug on it, had made all of those people who were part of the Democratic Party retreat from what it was they said they were going to do. So they didn't go anywhere. But the electoral process is something that we've dabbled with, we tried to get a grip on, but it was something that we were trying to get a grip on after the defeat of the Black Revolution of the 1960s. And that was a demoralizing kind of thing. But we should go back, and that's what we've done. We're going forward with the electoral process, and we're taking the issues that we couldn't get onto the agenda through the Democratic Party. So reparations can be put on the political agenda now. We do it. We take the issue of black community control of the police. Let the people vote on it. Take it out. Have debates around it. That's the thing that the electoral process gives us is because it was set up for them and not for us. It was set up for the middle class, the petty bourgeoisie, and the others, and not for us. So it gives us access to media and other kinds of forces that normally we don't have access to. We talk to a much larger body. We learn how to talk more effectively. You have to be able to be concise in what it is that you have to say, a short period of time, win people to programs and not just making noise and things like that. So we get more efficient in delivering a political message. That's one of the benefits of participating in electoral politics. And we have done it over a number of times. We ran candidates. We were able to put measures on the ballot. California was good for that at the time. We put a measure on the ballot to community control of land, a land reform basis agenda for Oakland, California, where Oakland was divided into 13 different communities based on income. And where we created a platform that would have allowed the creation of community development boards, for community boards to control the properties in these distinct community neighborhoods. And that the rent in those communities could not be more than 25% of the income, of the average income of any community. And these communities, there were some communities in West Oakland where 97% of the people are on welfare. And the rent could not be more than 25% of the income of the people there. And the people had the control of the property, because what they do like they do here and every place else, you have these slumlords who buy up properties in our communities and leave them vacant, leave grass growing, not taking care of them, etc., the deterioration, and then the people don't want to live there anymore. Crime, drug addiction, drug addicts, homeless, all kind of stuff are there, and the people move out. The cost of the property deteriorates and what have you. The people move out, etc. And then they come in and they get tax credits off of these properties. And this is the kind of thing that happens in our communities. In Oakland, we had a situation where the majority of the property in East Oakland, where we were headquartered at the time, the majority of the commercial property, I think it was maybe something like 80% was owned by white people who didn't live in Oakland. The majority of the housing stock owned by white people who didn't even live in Oakland. And that meant they were able to control the city and the African population by controlling the properties and what have you. So we put forth this ballot initiative, and where the property, depending on the election's outcome, these boards would take control of the properties in these communities, and they had authority there. And one of the newspapers in Oakland ran this headline, ran this article, and said that if this measure passes on Tuesday, which is when the elections, the governor, who was Duke Majan, will use an airstrike, a bomb of Oakland on Wednesday. They saw it that severe. All of this, of the realtors and what have you, put all kinds of monies together. They attacked some of our people physically who were out, campaigning and getting signatures on petitions and what have you. But yet, with all of that, we won more than 20% of the vote. With all of that, we won more than 20% of the vote. And we won it in some interesting places, because everybody wanted relief. And that's the thing about the measure and the electoral politics. Everybody wanted relief from the high prices. Charles Barron would tell you that in New York, he ran against somebody who his only slogan platform was rents are too damn high. That's all that was. Rents are too damn high. Charles Barron goes into a debate. This silly guy, rents are too damn high. That's all he said, and he beat Charles. He won the election because everybody's experiencing this, and that's part of what we can do with electoral politics, is run a much broader base than what we usually end up doing with our politics. So I wanted to say that, and then hopefully we'll have time to have more discussion. Uhuru.
Uhuru. That was a presentation that our chairman made at our plenary we had last month. But the more you hear about things that talked about in the past, the more they seem like the same things is happening today.
Yeah.
In other words, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
Under colonialism.
Yes.
When you don't have power to implement your own programs, to support your own programs and defend them, then you're always under the bar and the power of someone else. And that's why power is so important. Not just to have power for power's sake, but power for change, to make life better, to make the planet better. And so that people who live on the planet Earth can live long and healthy lives and can contribute to life itself. So that presentation is so reminiscent of the things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And we vote. Our people fought, died, bled, went to jail, etc., just to vote. And this system, thought that meant like we were at war with them because we wanted to go and do what so-called democracy in America said you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to vote and have representatives that reflect you and your values and your interests and your ideas. But obviously that's not the fact in America, even though they call us Americans, and sometimes we call ourselves Americans, on this land that don't belong to the people who call themselves American. It was stolen from the indigenous people, and everything they do is illegitimate, because there's a criminal in illegitimate government and society. And that's why we have all the problems we have, because it's just a few people with all the money and resources, and the military and the police, that maintain the system that we all suffer under. You know, and we think that things could be done much better when the people for real are in charge. When you have real democracy, which is the self-determination, which is the highest form of democracy. And the highest form of democracy for us is socialism. So, you know, we'll take some questions that people have about the presentation, about colonialism, about power, etc. Because even though we have these events is to organize the people for self-determination. In the process, we feed, clothe, and house ourselves, but we have to be a self-governing people. And we have the largest and the richest continent on the face of the earth called Mother Africa. And Africa is not poor. Africa is being looted. And African people are not poor. We broke because somebody else got all our resources. And we tend to organize to get that back so our resources can go towards our self-development. So any questions around the presentation, anything I said you want to add to the presentation, feel free to do so. Uhuru.
Thank you again. My name is Spice once again, Treasurer of the International People's Democratic Reform Movement. Very happy to see all the faces here that I don't recognize, and I'm looking forward to getting to know all the faces that are here. In terms of the presentation, Chairman was able to talk about some of the attacks that happened in the black community. So in this community right here, this is Brownsville, I believe, right? No. This is Crown Heights? So I'm from Jamaica, Queens, right? But that doesn't stop me from coming out here to be a part of this work, you know what I mean? And we have a lot of Africans in the community that might not be aware there are organizations out there fighting for their democratic rights as well. So I think it's very important and powerful to see us out here collectively and just showing the people what organization looks like. And if the panelists or the moderators can let us know about so many local struggles in the community recently, any kind of things that have happened. I know the Deep Theft Coalition is here. If there's any other struggles that are happening in the community right now that exemplify the attacks that Chairman spoke about in the presentation.
So when we mention bread, peace, and black power, we're talking about building, first bread. We're going to start off with the bread. The bread is the resources that we have available to us, and not just resources, not just food, but also medicine. And this community garden is a part of that. It's a factor of that. So we're going to bring up Chief Omar just to talk about the community garden and just a call for folks to join and come in and get involved.
Salute everyone.
Greetings.
Peace and abundance, Uhuru to you all. Yeah, so I am Chief Minister Omar Hardy. I'm Chief of Community Interest Logistics, and I am one of the program coordinators here at Tahuti Ma'at Garden. You know, so welcome to you all. Shout out to our members. We see we got Devin in the audience. We got Mama Muba here, right? And we invite you all to become a part of the garden, right? You can tap in with us, see how you can become a member. And okay, Sharishi just walked in as well. Salute. And like the King was saying, you know what I mean? It's imperative that, you know, we be very cautious about what we put into our body, right? So, you know, we you know, thank Tahuti Ma'at Garden for allowing us to come in and become partners with them in, you know, bringing our different visions to life, right? So, you know, we grow our own food here, you know, and the Empress Miss Peggy, she's real big on organic products, you know, only, right? So, you know, they definitely had to take care of some other works. You know, shout out to the Empress Miss Peggy. Her birthday is upon us. So, you know, we give her an amazing solar return, right? But yes, definitely tap in with us, you know, become a member, you know. Excuse me. But yeah, definitely tap in with us. Food sovereignty is imperative, right? You know, you all can look at this as one of our city safe zones, right? Or you could come in and get different resources, right? What we do is we help people to bring their intellectual property to life, right? I got to give a major shout out to the Empress Sasha as well from Dr. World Group, right? We participate collectively in the overcoming of dehumanization, you know? So, you know, again, you know, we help people to bring their intellectual property to life, our way of arts and theater workshops and programs, mental health initiatives, financial literacy, food sovereignty, energy sovereignty, you know, everything that it takes to build a nation, you know? And our main goal is to strengthen the natives, right, while welcoming migrants and other people by exchanging essential skills and resources so we can all prosper with our respective statuses to this land, you know. And I definitely heard there were some other questions that we're going to get to along the agenda, but yeah, as the program coordinator here, like I said, you're going to definitely see more of these type of events going. You know, shout out to the whole InPDUM family. You know, shout out to my brother Nkulu Leko, you know, again, who's taking care of some work right now as we speak, you know, in another state. You know, we're working at the highest level, you know, so definitely stay tapped in, stay tuned, and if anybody is available this Thursday coming, we will have some more events. This Thursday we will have our lyrical baptism event. You know, it will be spoken word, poetry, open mic, you know. So any artists we got out there, come through. Don't be scared to get on the mic. We will be back in full effect. And I'll see you all in a little minute, back on the mic today. Salute. And uhuru.
All right, so that's our bread. Now we're going to talk about the peace. And the peace is basically our attack or our ability to fend against colonial violence and in order to gain our freedom. And we have Shannon or some folks from Stop the Thief, not Stop the Thief, from the Darrell Nichols Committee and NICARC in order to speak on that part. Right? Yeah, whenever you're ready.
We're gonna make this short and sweet. Yes, Darrell Nichols Defense Committee. So let me back it up a little bit. So those that who in here don't know who I am? One person. One person. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Oh, cause my transition lenses are on. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. All right, so then y'all already know who I am. So through doing this work, as all of you heard, in September 2024, I want to say it was September 14th or 15th of 2024, there was a mass shooting on the L train by the NYPD. Right? They stopped a person who we now know is Darrell Nichols, followed him up the train stairs and escalated an interaction with him that resulted in him being tased and the cops ringing off mass shots on the train and the train platform. Darrell Nichols was shot multiple times. Another man, Gregory Delpeche, was shot in the head with traumatic brain injury, and another woman was shot in the leg, not to mention multiple people traumatized by having this ring off happen on the L train. And I want to say this was a Sunday, right? This wasn't even during the week. So immediately following that, myself and InPDUM, because it was InPDUM that I called on to execute the rally that immediately followed this mass shooting on the train. I talked to Leco. I'm like, yo, what y'all want to do? Right? And it was easy work, right? So we organized a rally because at that time and continuing up until now, I'm one of the chief architects of Swipe It Forward. So we were organizing and collaborated with a whole bunch of other grassroots groups to swipe people on the train, not as a give back or charity work, but it was very specific anti-police, anti-MTA, anti-collusion to drag particularly young black men from ages 16 to 25 into the slave system through incarceration for jumping the turnstile. So it fit right on target with what happened with Darrell Mickles. So we organized that rally and understood that it didn't stop there. We had to show up and show out. And those initial court dates, he had one once a month. It was October, November, December. I think it was then January, February. Then it started jumping around a little bit. And it was understood that a defense committee needed to be formed where there would be solid politics around the support, right? You can't just do this without solid politics. And since my organization, Bronx Heights for NYPD Accountability, was formed in 2014, I would have to say since then, in my experience, African People's Socialist Party has been the most consistent and solid organized group with the most righteous politics circulating, not just in New York City, but throughout the country and throughout the world, right? Because whether people feel like coming home or not, going home, they tired, they get married, they go, whatever happens with their life, African People's Socialist Party, International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, African National Women's Organization have been there and consistently been there. So that was the right group to continue to collaborate with and organize and form Darrell Mickles Defense Committee. So since that time, other groups have continued to collaborate to build and strengthen this committee with righteous politics, consistent support, and a plan to achieve results. And one of those results is that Darrell Mickles is freed. Right? So that's very important. So I'm going to take 30 more seconds to talk about the historical connections, right? What is the thing about Darrell Mickles? Black men get locked up every day, right? Why him, right? Why him? Because you have a racial aspect. When Akai Gurley was shot in the stairwells of the pink houses, it was by two rookie cops, a white and an Asian. Darrell Mickles was shot by a white and Asian with very little experience, right, in the streets of Brownsville, right over here, because Vice, we are actually like on the cusp, right, where we sit right now is Crown Heights is right here. You walk 2 blocks, you in the sty. You walk 2-3 blocks east, and you in Ocean Hill, Brownsville. So we right in the mecca of black community, right, Weeksville, all that. We in the mix. So when Akai Gurley was shot in the pinks, right, and they gave that case to Judge Danny Chun, the fix was in.
Yeah, we do.
Right? Remember that?
He's still doing it.
Right. So he's also the judge on Darrell Mickles.
Yeah.
He was also the judge, I don't know if y'all remember, the young man that was just taking a breather, minding his own fucking business over here, and this white couple stopped him, and that escalated, and he had to put the 1s and 2s on that guy. I don't know if you remember that. Young man, like 18, 19 years old. They gave that case to Chun too. If you don't remember, Marcel Dockery, he maintains his innocence up until this day. That was the gentleman that they claimed he killed the cop by burning a mattress in the stairwell down in Coney Island. Remember that? They gave that case to Chun too. So when it's time to fry our black brothers, sons, fathers, nephews, and cousins, they throw it to Chun. The fix is in. This is why Mickles' case is very, 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 very critical and important. There's been a media blackout because there was a mass shooting. This is what we got to walk with when you walk out of this garden. The NYPD committed a mass shooting on public transportation, shooting 3 African people. That's the takeaway. And they're scapegoating Darrell Mickles, criminalizing him, right? Because your boy Eric Adams immediately popped out to criticize Darrell Nichols. And we all fell for the okie and stopped talking about him and stopped paying attention to what's going on with him. When we out here doing this outreach, everybody remembers what happened, but nobody knows he's been in Rikers for 19 months.
$2 million bail.
Hello. And has never, I don't even want to, Kylie's going to get into what's going on now, but I'm bringing it from the beginning and making those historical connections so you understand why this is so important and why we all need to speak up, and not only speak up, but take important action, which Kylie's going to get into, and how we can actively do that in order to free Darrell Nichols. So I'm going to pass the mic. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Support InPDUM, African People's Social Party, African National Women's Organization, because a lot of this stuff will not be going on the freedom fight without women, women, women.
I can't follow up on Shannon. She's always a good speaker, and I'm not, so I'm going to try to keep this really quick. For Darrell Nichols, as Shannon had said, he's been in Rikers for the last 19 months. He's been in Rikers for the last 19 months on $2 million bail, and they refused to reduce the bail, and his lawyer has not once visited him or given any sort of help, and we have no idea what's happening. And his trial is set for this Wednesday on June 3rd in King's Criminal Court, and there's a good chance that it might also be postponed again, but we have to show up and we have to pull up because it is trial. And this entire time, his legal team, the judge, everyone is trying really, really hard for him to have no support whatsoever. They've consistently told him to not have support, to not have people speak on his case, to not have people pull up to the court. And it's very, very extremely vital that we do, because we have to be there and show the judge that we are sitting and we are watching. We're watching them try to pin the fact that the pigs had shot multiple people, shot him 11 times, shot 2 other people, gave traumatic brain injuries for one, shot another pig in the process, and try to pin it on him, and saying that if they weren't chasing him, if they weren't doing all these processes, those people would not have been hurt in the first place. So like, that is very, very important for us to be able to keep pulling up. He's had multiple surgeries while in Rikers. We continue to visit him, we continue to support him materially, but we do have to show up, that like remind him that in the early stages when this first happened, there was rallies, there was mass protests. I know so many people that got arrested, so many people that we were supporting getting arrested just for advocating for him. And as Shannon said, it dropped. People forgot who he was. People forgot his name. It's been 19 months and he's sitting sick, unable to walk, and like is only starting to like heal a little bit. But imagine having to sit and like, he's had so many cases where we had to phone zap and do certain things because he had rats in his food. Wow. He had the rats in his sleep, like thing. Their whole facility was covered in lice and bugs. And so it's just very, very important that we come and we pull up. We are doing a week of action, and today was one of them. We do have propaganda on the side. We have like some outreach material for people. We are pushing jury nullification campaign because it's very important that like anyone in Kings County, so everyone in Brooklyn, can be a potential juror for Darrell Nichols. That could be you, one of us sitting here, or it could be one of your friends or your friends' friends or their friends as well. So we do have zines on the back about jury nullification, and we are trying to push and remind people that like the carceral system is a fucked up system. They're doing it on purpose. They try to put black and brown people and indigenous people, they're like incarcerating them, committing genocide, and turning everyone into slaves for their own purposes and their own exploitation. And so for that reason, we are always, again, it doesn't matter the charge, it doesn't matter the crime, it doesn't matter the allegation. We always say we should vote not guilty. We're never on the side of the pigs, we're never on the side of the judge, it doesn't matter what. And so for that, vote not, we have like little zines in the back that we're trying to push and make sure that everyone around you, so it doesn't matter whether it's Darrell Nichols or 100 people like Darrell Nichols that we're never going to know about because their cases are not in the newspaper. And it could be our neighbors, it could be other people, but we have to make sure that whenever we're potential jurors, that it is important. Like, even though we hate the system, and a lot of people we go to the jury, like when people are getting selected to be jury members, we tell people we hate the system, we don't believe in the system, but like we really shoot ourselves in the foot because we get taken out of the jury system, and then all that's left are a bunch of ex-pigs or their family members or other conservatives or other white people that are going to 100% convict someone for their crimes. or their alleged crimes. So that being said, we are pushing like a jury nullification campaign. We have stickers and posters to put up in your neighborhoods, to give to your neighbors, to your family. I think Shannon came to our letter writing event 2 days ago. And I think one of our other comrades is going to talk more about our organization later. But we did host a letter writing event, and we did shout out Darrell Mickles in that point and pass out more propaganda. But when Shannon came to speak, she was talking about it takes, and everyone goes outside, it should be you speak to 5 people, and you have to tell those 5 people to speak to more other 5 people, and those 5 people have to speak to the other 5 people, and make sure that everyone knows that, like, if you ever get a ticket, if you ever say that you're going to be a potential juror, that is our duty. That is a one thing in the system, the one place that we're going to advocate for voting, the one place that we're going to be like, you better show up, and you better pull up, and you better make sure that you're selected one way or another. And so, yeah, and we are having court support on Wednesday. If they do go forward on trial on Wednesday, that'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, potentially Monday. We do want people to pull up. I think a lot, like, it is really hard to get momentum, and a lot of people have different cases going on, and like the pressure is high, but we do want people to pull up on Wednesday. And if by chance the trial gets postponed again, we'll continue to support him, and we'll continue, no matter what happens, we'll be there to support. Do you want to have that?
Thank you so much, Kaveh. What I think is important for us to also understand when we make these connections is, right, this is an entire ecosystem of repression, right? This is an ecosystem. When your husband, brother, cousin, nephew is behind bars, that's not the person that's going to stand in front of the door when the pay's coming to serve that notice to put you out your home, right? All of these, like I said, are training programs. These are training programs. The prison system is a training program. It's to train docility into you. It's to train women to be accustomed to not having partners and fathers in the home. These are all training programs, conditioning programs. So that's what we're bucking here, the training program and the conditioning program. And confronting these contradictions that exist. This is one of the things that African People's Socialist Party does by running candidates in various states, is to highlight the contradictions that exist with this disgusting colonial system, right? Because we do have a lot of contradiction. Sometimes with us Negroes, sometimes we only take a little $50, $60, $70,000 and we act a little bougie, right? Oh, my son don't jump the turnstile. I always give my son a Metro card. That's not him, right? We get a little stank, right? We may have some our names on some paperwork, like a condo, a house, a car, then we get a little bougie, right? Come on, let's keep it real. So we have to confront those contradictions, those class contradictions, even internally, right? Because those are all methods of fratricide that we have to confront and be honest about, so we can get out in this system and confront these colonizers in a real way, not just for our own personal interest. When shit hitting the fan for you, then that's when you want everybody to help you, but really the day before the shit hit the fan for you, you ain't give a damn about nobody. And that's the shit we gotta cut. I tell people, want it for somebody else the way you would want it for yourself. The cops beat your ass, wouldn't you want every black person in the community to come out for you? Somebody stealing your house, you wouldn't want every black person in the community to come out for you? So you gotta come out for the person that has an addiction. You gotta come out for the person that got an open case. You gotta come out for the person that might be throwing the little signs up or whatever. We're not judging that. You gotta come out, and you gotta support all of it. Because that's how the colonizer gets you, with all that individualism and all that separatism bullshit and all that bougie shit. We gotta cut that, because that's a lot of our problems. And then we also cannot let these sniveling politicians come around and deliberately hide information, keep us talking about the wrong shit. I call it like right wrong shit. Because I could go on, I'm going to stop though. But it's like right, wrong shit. The politician will watch you talk about number 82 on the list and make it like it's number 1. And 1 through 81, they don't tell you about. So you loud and not all the way straight, right? No. So these are the things that we have to do better on as a people. So when we come out in force, because I'm going to tell you what happened with Judge Chun and that Gurley case, right? Them jurors knew that Peter Liang was guilty. And they said so. Because some of them was in their sleep. Because I sat in that trial. They didn't give a damn what was being said. They knew the pigs was guilty. They didn't give a shit what was being said. It was open and shut. And they found that cop guilty. But what did Chun do? Overturn the verdict. I sat right there. I thought I was going to die. For real.
We need to be investigated.
Well, Charles Barron tried to do that after a Kai Gurley case. That did happen. So this is why we got to know what happened in 1945, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005, 2015. We can't keep starting over.
No.
So we got to pull it all together. So I want to thank folks that came today. Please pick up these zines that these young people are making the time to create. I know African history is oral, but some shit you got to write it down. The young people took time to write these things and create these pieces of information. Please pick them up and get them in the community, particularly stickers. Put them in your building. We know where the party is at, right? Everybody know the new Henny Reader came out, right? Henny Reader is out. We all know it because the signs are everywhere, right? ASAP Rocky got the new whiskey. We know that. But do we know when Darrell Mickles' case is? No, because the signs are not out. You turn around, you got liquor advertising. Wheat pays a liquor. Can we get Darrell Mickles stickers everywhere? Can we get those signs everywhere? Put it on your social media. You show everybody when you go out of town. You show everybody your margarita and your feet with the sand in it. You show everybody your boyfriend that's somebody else's husband. We see all that on the internet. Put Darrell Mickles' trial date on your Instagram. Put it on your TikTok. Put it for us old people. Put it on your Facebook. The seniors, we still on Fedbook. Put it on there so everybody knows. The 555 that Kali was talking about. Hold your friends accountable. You ask the 5. Wait 3 days and ask the 5. Did you ask your 5? And if they don't got time to hear that, they ain't got time to eat your potato salad this summer. They don't got time to take $20 from you this summer. They don't have time for you to take their kids with the splish splash. Because then they really not messing with you like that. If they can't get into this black freedom, this African liberation, hold your own accountable as well. Yeah. So we got work to do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to say that for people that may not really be familiar with it, it's very important. It's very important for y'all to not bob and weave when y'all get that thing for jury duty.
Because you could be the only one on that jury that saves somebody from getting 25 years. Or y'all can stop them people ever, like they got hit with a tranquilizer daughter through half the trial. They don't care. They just ready to just like guilty and just go home. They want to catch Monday Night Football or whatever. It's important for y'all to go and serve on the jury. People with felonies can't do it. But people that don't have them and they call you, go see about it. And if they trying to railroad a brother or sister, y'all might just have to take a little bit of a hit when it comes to y'all big check at the job or whatever, but it's really important. I'm trying to really deal with this situation now where they got, my nephew's daughter's brother, he been in jail for 28 years, he's only 48 years old. They caught him, threw him in jail, locked him up for something. He wasn't even in that borough when it happened. Because he didn't have somebody on the jury to say, now that's ridiculous, and not let that go through. But it's important. Please.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to continue with the agenda. We still have bread, peace, and black power. On the topic of bread, peace, and black power, we're still on peace. We're going to introduce Mama Muba over here to talk about the African peoples, or the African burial ground.
Asante Sana. Greetings, queens and kings, and those who are princes and prince. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be among people who know what it is to fight for righteousness. We have so many by numbers, but they really don't know what it is to fight for righteousness. You know, it's so much happening with us as a people, that sometimes we really want to know, where do we start? How could we make a difference? But that is important. We must, whatever we're doing, is to make a difference. And it only could be done when we are united. When we talk about, you know, you're waiting for your neighbor house is on fire and you're trying to get away from that fire, not knowing once that neighbor house is on fire, it's just a matter of time. Yours is going to catch fire also. I tell people, if you don't put your foot in that shoe, you will never know. We have to start putting our feet in other people's shoes and not wait until it comes to our doorstep. We really have to. You know, I'm very passionate. The fight has to go on. But I am here. I am really, there's so many things I'm involved in, but miseducational system is one of my real care. Because you see this, anytime they take this, and that's what they have done for over 400 plus years, they have taken this from our people. When they take your brain, there is nothing else left. And the miseducational system that exists, that's what they're doing. They're taking our children's brain. And what they're doing with those brains, they're making them become robots to destroy their own people as they become the future. So it's important as much as all this fight is going on, we gotta focus on this miseducational system and make sure when our trend going there, what is taught to them is going to be in the best interest of our future, likewise theirs. So that's one of my pets, just one. So what happened in 2021? I have a program that I usually have every year. I belong to Coalition for Public Education. So I actually used to have a program on a Sunday where I invite parents throughout New York City to come on and let us talk about this miseducational system. And this one particular parent called me after I had the program one day and she says, I need you. And she explained to me, she found out she was actually running for city council in Bedford and Church Avenue. And she says, Muba, I'm running for city council, but I also found out now there's an African burial ground at the corner of Bedford and Church. Do you all know of Bedford and Church? Yeah. Now, we have had people in that neighborhood living 50, 60, 70 years. Nobody knew that that corner was an African burial ground. We had two buildings go up there. The so-called Jews, they had their whatever school, and another building. None of the buildings could have stayed. It keep on breaking down. So nobody understood why every building that go there was actually falling apart. And we know now why. So she says to me, I need help, I don't have anybody, blah, blah, blah. So I met with her and we went over the whole situation with the burial ground. Now this is what has happened. The city council member at that time was Matthews, and the borough president was Eric Adams, and de Blasio was the mayor. All three of them decided that they want to put affordable housing on that burial ground.
Oh, Eugene Matthews?
Sure.
Oh.
Yes, affordable housing. Have the money and everything. So he says, this is not going to work. So I got in touch with a few folks that, I just shared with someone. I do the cultural piece with Mr. and Mrs. Barron, Operation Power. So I have a lot of outreach there that I could work with. So I did an outreach and got a few of us. We said, we got to organize something. This can't take place. Do you know of any burial ground that houses are built on? I have never heard of that before in my life. Never have. So what we did, small group of us, we decided we're going to hit the streets. So we shut down Church Avenue from Bedford and all the way to Flatbush. We shut it down. No cars, nothing could move. And we decided to expose what these politicians, crooketitions is another word they call them. Yeah, it's not no politician, they're crooks. What they want to do to our ancestors. Our ancestors, come on. And we fought. We began to create flyers, over 2,000 flyers. And we hit the whole of church, with the whole of Flatbush. When people begin to know, what? That's a burial ground. Listen, they came out with us. They said no housing can be put here. No housing. We got in touch with Eric Adams, got in touch with City Council. Well, he left. He ended up giving his position, and I said give one. He wasn't elected. I don't care about it. They were elected. They were friends, and they say, okay, I want you to run. I have my people going to take you anyway. So they got a new city council, and we began to rally. When the people, and that's why they said in unity there is strength, people came out. When they came out, and we began to attack Eric Adams, what we did, we investigated him, and we found out he did a talk show many years ago about the importance of ancestors. And when we got that direct video, we hit him with it. And as we hit him with it, says no more. No more are we going to put any homes on our ancestors. So it was victory for us. It wasn't easy. It took us almost 2 years, but we did get victory. But with that said now, when Matthews left, he gave Parks Department, who owns the land, $4 million towards whatever it is we wanted there. And the group of us says, listen, we want a memorial, we want something that's going to be historical. Not just you walk in and you walk out. We want, like, when our children want to do a little trip, let them come in here. Let them come and spend some time learning. Not just our ancestors, but what they was, what they did. We want it to be really something that is memorable for all the years to come. So Parks Department owns it. Parks Department comes and meets on the sidewalk with us, all, no disrespect, all Caucasians, and we want to know, what can you tell us about our ancestors? Why are you here? Why are you here with us alone to speak to us of what should go there for our ancestors? Definitely they had to go. They had to go. But what they did, and I want you all to know, this is important. The same lady who got in touch with me, she passed. She was there to hear that no housing is going to be there, but she ended up dying just like that, heart attack. Young. Yeah. Hines. Her name is Miss Hines. And we ended up losing her, which was so sad. But with that said, So we have a fight right now. Our fight isn't finished. Parks Department decided they're going to tell us what they want to go there. Now, you know, if you look at printout of Parks Department, who are their heads, if one of them look like us, we're lucky. We're very lucky. And I'm saying, you know, we have an elected official who is from Haiti, and you would allow Parks Department to decide what should be put there after we fought to make sure what goes there should be according to our community, our people. So we have a fight right now that Parks Department actually already have a blueprint of what they want go there. Another fight. But we ain't worried about that. Not worried about the fight. So they will get the fight. And in our fighting, we know what our ancestors have. And I want you all people to know this. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. I want you all to know this. We don't know how serious our ancestors are. We're really living, but we really don't understand the power of our ancestors. Right. We take this for granted. The powers, but they do have powers. But if we're not doing the right thing, they can't do nothing for us. You must do the right thing. When you talk to your ancestors, know when you're going to them, they're seeing you every day, every minute. You gotta pay attention to that. And as we are here, our ancestors are here. We recognize them, we honor them, we appreciate them. And I want you all to know we are only here because of them.
Yes. That's right. That's it.
Only reason we are here. Let us please pay attention to our ancestors, because they will do what needs to be done. Some of them didn't know better, but when they left, they saw exactly what was going on, so it's not going to be the same anymore. So we do have a fight, and we are going to win. Bedford and Church, every time you pass, greet them. Greet them. They are there. And not just them, all the post office, King's Highway, everywhere.
The gas station across the street.
Everywhere is our ancestors put there. I know that maybe I would not be here on the earth, but it's just a matter of time. You all are going to be here. Places caving in. Caving in. No burial ground stays up. It starts to cave, because our ancestors will be doing their work. Thank you. Asante Sana.
The sister that was, when I went down there, she was talking about connecting it with, because something big was going on in Maryland.
Yes.
Fighting for, because they did a lot of flooding. They flooded this big, I forgot what state it was, but they did a lot of stuff to just, eliminate a lot of the land that our people were buried on. Were buried on. I don't know if they still there. But, so, I mean, I was thinking that, we should, come up with a way in which to try to design something that includes the different situations. Because they got stuff in Canarsie and the whole nine. They got, so, so, if we're going to do so, we should propose a different kind of thing, a different kind of monument or whatever we're going to have that includes the different places and so on and so forth where our people were, and, the contributions they made and so on and so forth in those areas.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Rafika and Mama Mula. It's powerful. At this moment, we're going to talk about our community control of housing. Still on the topic of peace right now. Who's going to bring up Miss Evangeline. Just now came in right on time. Thank you so much for being here, for showing up. Just powerful sisters leading the front on the coalition to stop these things.
Y'all all look sad. Y'all not happy. Everybody look very intense. How y'all doing? So, I'm a little fired up from yesterday. I went to Sada Shakur's memorial. And my soul needed that. It was very also liberating to see all of the people who fought for our freedom there. People who did 50 years in prison, 33 years. I had the honor of meeting, what is his name? Khalil Montakim.
Yeah, Jalil.
Jalil Montakim.
Yeah, Jalil.
And we had a conversation. And just to see how strong and resolved he was, and just the role that he played in her liberation. And so it was just really, really uplifting, very inspiring. Even after, to see all of the people reconnecting from years and years and not seeing each other, being in different places and spaces. And then also, it gave me a glimpse into some of the work of the people who just do that work of getting out and working to get our political prisoners out of prison. And their dedication. They're very, very like serious and resolved and like, you know, focused and on mission. And so it was really encouraging to see that. And it also helped me to understand more of our landscape. And Kuleku always says to me, whenever we're trying to say like, okay, we need people to help do this, that, and other, he'd be like, our political prisoners are in jail. The people who actually did this work, they're all locked up and incarcerated. And the reason why you can't find that energy is because it's in prison. And so just witnessing, just from talking to Jalil Montakim, and just his energy and just the things that he was just imparting to me yesterday, you know, it helped me to understand where we are in the landscape and why they did what they did to them, right? We would be so much further as a people if our freedom fighters and the people who were committed to it, the discipline they have. I met people from the Black Liberation Army. These are actually military people, right? Like the U.S. military. They had that same type of combative, you know, spirit and resolve in the way they dealt in our liberation. So that was good stuff. But on to the issue at hand. One of the things we also, me and Kuleku have been talking about is NYCHA housing. NYCHA housing is the last affordable housing stock in New York City. Once NYCHA is gone, that will be that will actually finish off the displacement of Black people in New York. And so there has to be a stronger move and push to save Section 9. And so a part of that, being a labor organizer, is tenant unions. Whenever I hear the word union, I'm like, it sparks my interest because I know the power of a union on the labor side. If it's that powerful on the labor side, then it can be even more powerful on the tenant side. In the sense that as a union and tenant unions, you withhold your rent collectively. You don't spend your rent now. You gotta put it in an account and hold it, but you withhold your rent, and as a way to say to the landlord that they have to correct the repairs or do right by the people in the building. One of the things that will be an affront to this is that they do have legitimate tenant associations, which has led to RADPAC and all of these other initiatives to privatize, be able to go forth the way they have. So we want to do some things around going into NYCHA developments and meeting directly with the people and doing some tenant organizing and setting up some tenant unions. It also would be powerful because if you organize in that way, your tenant union also becomes a voting block. You vote as a unit, you do a lot of things as a collective together. So we want to do that and just basically educate people around that. It ties into the broader housing initiative that we have as we've been working on DTHEF throughout the city to sort of bring it together, because we see when we're out, a lot of times we're meeting people at the courts and they are not homeowners, they're tenants and they have these issues, but their buildings are not organized. And so we want to help and sort of meet the need there and sort of strengthen the movement to bring us all together, right? Because all of these issues are interconnected. So we just want to bring them all together. And so that's basically what some of the ideas that we have and what we would like to do. Right now, Omar, Hardy, and Carmela both are running for district leader positions. And one of the things we were doing before I got here, which is why I was late, we were meeting with people in NYCHA to start to organize around the true need of what they need in order to not become, to where they sign off and become under this Rat Pack initiative, but stay Section 9. And so we're also trying to evaluate and see how far they are into it, because they do have someone that serves as that manages the project of these developments being deregulated from Rat Pack to Section 9. So we want to just sort of get an understanding of that as we set forth to start organizing these different things. Some people told me that they do tenant organizing and they have these groups, but I've never met them. So we're just going to go ahead with the initiative and do what we know how and try to meet that need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Evangeline. Yeah, so bread, peace, and now Black Power. And on the topic of Black Power, we'd like to bring up Chief Omar once more to talk about the folks that he has going up or the voting block and the election polls.
That's right. Salute once again, family, salute. And uhuru. There's the Empress. My father told me a long time ago that the black man, the melanated, the Asiatic black man is the owner, the maker, the cream of the planet Earth, the father of civilization, and the god of the universe, right? Everything that has been presented thus far gives an example of how we need to do for self, right? This so-called enemy out there is doing exactly what they got to do, right? It's up to us to continue to work together and do what we got to do, right? To bring our intellectual property to life, right? Fight for our human rights are being violated at an alarming rate right now, and we have to continue to correct those injustices and work on our human rights. I want to bring the Empress, Miss Betty, up as well. I know you just walked in. Take a little breather real quick, like the Empress Evangeline was stating, that we got a couple of our family members that's running for office, right? And everyone that I'm about to mention is, well, first, before I got to shout out, the family here from the People's Coalition to Stop DE Theft. We in the building, right, doing some major impactful work. We got Samantha here, the Empress. We got Raven here, Carmela, Sharice in the background, Evangeline, she just stepped off, myself. You got Samantha here as well, right? Samantha Squared, right? Empress Betty, who I just mentioned. But we're doing some amazing work out here, right? We're putting our lives on the line, right? We got a couple of us that have been unlawfully arrested, right? And protecting our human rights. We don't have to abide by no unlawful requests. We say this all the time, and then when these domestic terrorists come trying to, evict us unlawfully from our properties, we stand up against these injustices, and sometimes, they say you got to go through it to get to it, but there's definitely a couple of cases out there that will be dismissed in the proper time. But yes, Samantha, she was unlawfully arrested a couple of months ago. Carmelo was probably the last one that was, not the last one, but
Hopefully.
it definitely should be the last one. Carmelo was just arrested unlawfully and had to sit 6 days in Rikers Island, right? I was arrested unlawfully last year, April the 23rd. We're working on getting that case dismissed right now, right? But because of these unlawful acts, this is why we running for office, right? Myself, I'm running for district leader, Carmela, she's running for district leader. She's my running mate, right? Samantha Johnson, she's running for assembly, right? Who else we got here? That's it for right now. But Maisha, yeah, she's definitely running. She's not here at the moment. But Maisha, Candace, you know, these are all people within our coalition that's running for office, you know, to make the change. We got to be the change that we want to see, right? Carmela, myself, running for district leader, that position is vital for getting judges into the seat, right? We spoke about the judge, this dehumanizing guy, Chun, right? They put in certain cases in him because they, in his office because they know how it's gonna go, right? These judges, they get put into place by district leaders.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
I think all judges get put in place except for the criminal court, right? Their place, right? But that role is so vital. And these judges, they are not being vetted properly by the community at all.
Right.
Right? They say that they have forums. You know, with us making this run, you know, we've been getting some pushback. You know, we've been getting a lot of contention, you know, because they don't want candidates like us, everyone who I just mentioned. They don't want us in there, right? Because it goes against the status quo, right? The Democratic Party, the Brooklyn Democratic Party has played a major role in the displacement of us as a people.
Say it again, please.
Right? The Brooklyn Democratic Party has played a major role in the displacement of us as a people.
One more time.
Right? One more time for the mind. The Brooklyn Democratic Party has played a major role in the displacement of us as a people. Whether your deeds are being stolen unlawfully, right? Whether you're being evicted unlawfully, it's all under the same umbrella, like Evangeline was just saying.
Shelter industrial complex.
Exactly, you know? And this is why we are taking the position that we're taking, right? You just heard about the People's Coalition to Stop Deed Theft. It's a bunch of individuals, organizations where we've come together to correct these injustices, to fight back, right? To fight for our human rights, right? Save Our Properties, another one of the organizations. You know, we're all working together. You know, it's a whole lot. Right, but say again. Definitely, Neighbors Against Deed Theft, Hands Off Bed-Stuy. Shout out to the family, right? You know, but with the making mention of the candidates, right? We are not career politicians. I know for doggone sure, I am not a career politician, right? I know that people need stuff. And our legacy cannot wait, you know? So we are gonna get in there. We're gonna make sure that these judges are vetted properly, right? It's gonna be more than just a forum, more than just that pay-to-play situation, right? We're gonna bring the judges to the town and get some community impact testimony, right? The judges need to hear from the community.
That's right.
You know, we've been going into these different forums, trying to ask a question and apply the pressure that's needed, but they don't want us to talk.
Nope.
They already selected before they get in there.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, the judges, they need to hear from the people. You know, I use this example all the time with Carmela's case specifically because the judge, Rachel Fryer, she made sure, yeah, she got to go. You know, she locked Carmela up on a civil contempt. Lawyers told me that that's unheard of.
That's right.
Right? A civil contempt, 6 days on an island?
That's right.
You know, it's psychological warfare that they're implementing on us as a people. Right? And again, we have to continue to come together to correct these injustices. Right? But specifically, the judge, she made sure to mention that, you know, she gave a whole testimony about 20 minutes before the case proceeded, you know, and she made sure to say, deed theft is not a part of this case.
Right.
Right? When deed theft is the whole case.
Yeah.
Right?
You know.
One of our members, Ray Cortez, a lawyer said to him that the foreclosure court is the new trading ground for black and brown people's generational wealth. The foreclosure court is the new trading ground for black and brown people's generational wealth. This is by design and what's happening, right? So, you know, with that statement that the judge made, that just shows that she's on the take, she's being paid, or she, you know, or she doesn't know what you're saying. Her husband? You know, yeah, no, her husband is definitely a real estate guy, a broker. You know, they're in the mix, but she's either being paid or don't know what's going on. Right? She knows exactly what's going on. Right? One of the tools that they use, the guardianship program. Right? They use Title 81 of the mental hygiene law and take our people off the street. You know, a large majority of the elders. Right? This is what a part of what Carmela's dealing with. You know, anybody familiar with the slave theater or the black lady theater, right? I'm the owner, in fact, of these properties, right? They use, the guardianship program is one of the tools that they use to get Judge Phillips off the street and try to dismantle everything that's going on, you know? But, yeah, definitely wanted to shout that out. Make sure y'all look for Carmela in the state committee, district leader in Assembly District 56. Make sure you look for myself, State Committee District Leader, Assembly District 56, Samantha Johnson, running for Assembly in Assembly District 57, right? And yo, it's up to us. We have to be the change that we want to see. That's right. You know?
Could you put your names on flyers so that we can share that
There is a flyer.
Please, before you leave, we do have some flyers over there right now. You could take some that's over there. And tap in with us, because you know we got some in production right now as we speak. But absolutely.
Give Kamala a chance to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Candidates.
the reason why the Democrats have been so effective in selling us out is because we trust them.
Right.
Let's give it up for the Empress, Miss Betty Davis.
Thank you. It's so good to see you. So I was looking at all of your faces, and I'm wondering if you realize what a miracle you represent. And with all due respect to other cultures that are here, I don't think you understand what it means to go through over 400 years of a ma'afa and still be able to relate to people who look like the ones who did it to us. Right. And to organize with you as if you were human. And to be with you in a spirit of solidarity to bring down a common ruling class evil force in the universe. And I'm saying this because recently in the UN, this country refused to acknowledge what the Holocaust of the Ma'afa was coming across the Atlantic Ocean. They refused to acknowledge that the sharks on the Atlantic Ocean are twice as big as the sharks on the Pacific. That the sharks in the Atlantic Ocean changed their pattern of migrating to follow the ships with the captives on it. To acknowledge the fact that some people said, before I be a slave, I'll die in the sea, and jumped overboard. And yet today you are here with us in solidarity. You overcame the illness of your ancestors. Why do I say it's an illness? Why do I salute all of you people who are here today, who look like me? Because for 400 years, we still want to be with each other. We still want to organize. We got contradictions, deep contradictions. I know about them, Samantha. But we're still here in unity in spite of the contradictions, and we're still able to see that there is one common element here, that we are all humans. And every human is entitled to human rights, and goddammit, housing and community is a human right. Now, why am I making a point of saying this? Because it is the, 21st century? And Europeans are still fucking it up. We're in our colony, minding our own goddamn business. And they're coming here to steal 3 generations of wealth. And so you have no choice. If you want to keep your humanity, you have got to join the fight and be on the correct side of history. History is what makes you human. And if you don't know human, if you're one of those humans who can't see a pattern, what did Darwin say is going to happen to you? And that's not just me with my darky self. That's you too. Because sooner or later, people like me get fucked up and mad at people who won't let us alone and let us be human. We weren't bothering anybody here in Bed-Stuy. We were having our barbecue, doing our jazz, okay? And here they come. Just like they did when we were in Angola, in Nigeria. We didn't need to come to this fucking continent. We didn't want to take anything from the people they call Indians. We were in Africa with a culture, and we were happy there. And now we're over here, you're doing the same shit here that you did over there. And you're doing the same shit all over the world. Why can't Iran have a bomb if motherfucking Israel has one? I'm 82 years old and I'm tired of this shit. I was late here today. I gave my word to Nkulelo that I would come and open up and honor the latest warriors on the front lines. And in spite of the contradictions, it's like that movie Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. If you don't know your Star Wars, you better learn it. Okay? It's the Fellowship of the Ring. What does the ring represent? The circle of earth, the circle of love, right, brother? Right? Okay? Circular symbols in African culture everywhere. Every culture has a circular symbol because the universe is telling you something. Okay? And if you're outside the universe of love and decency, then we're going to have to deal with you one way or the other. That's right. So you need to be on the right side of history. And DDEF is the right side of history. And you have somebody who's willing to sacrifice her time to take it on and to help you organize a structure to combat the ruling class. And the ruling class is a decadent class. If you don't know history and you don't know Rome, you know you out of the loop of understanding. How can you understand somebody who has everything and wants you to still be a slave? And that's what the ruling class is here. They got 9 chairs to sit on. And the rest of us who are the 99% only got 1 fucking chair. And they want that chair now. Be on the right side of history. Okay. And once again, you have someone who's willing to take on this struggle. It is our duty, what? To fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must do what with each other? Love and protect. Love and protect each other. Okay? And you know the rest. You have nothing to lose but your chains. And I want to say again, what's the problem? I went home last night late from the Sada Shakur homegoing ceremony, and I saw something I've never seen in the United States of America. I saw a young brother asleep on the ground in front of a house. And I didn't have the strength to pick him up, and I didn't know what I was going to do if I did pick him up. And it didn't occur to me at the time to knock on a neighbor's house and say, "Can you help me?" So I walked on, because I'm not going to call the police on anybody who's homeless. And so I'm going to talk to Shannon. Maybe she can give me some strategies in terms of how to deal with this. The richest country in the world, and a young black male is asleep on the ground in front of somebody's house. Okay, and since I'm at home alone, and in my 80s, I wasn't going to bring him into my house. My maid who transitioned told me no more of that. Okay? But that's not your fault. Don't you take that on. Because when you fight this fight, you're fighting for that young brother too.
That's right.
And it's one fight. It's not nicer versus the people who have private houses. That's bullshit. You don't own the land here.
Amen.
First of all, it belongs to whatever group, be they, you know, Cheyenne or Apache or whatever group was here. It's their land.
That's right. That's right.
And they're not here because these people perpetrated the same type of Holocaust on them that they did on the people of Gaza. And if you don't see that, you really are on the wrong side of history. Because when the rich get through with them, they're going to come after you next. And so this fight, we've got to win it. Because this Brooklyn belongs to us. There is a history in Brooklyn of the first Underground Railroad movement between two groups of women of a different culture. European women whose husbands were ministers, and African women who were escaping from chattel death and slavery. They united in this Republic of Brooklyn, and they had the first successful collaborative struggle against slavery in the history of the world, right here in Brooklyn. You cannot give that history up. You understand? You cannot let them erase that history. So those of you who are not lucky enough to look like me, you can still join the fight and be a part of a history that's wonderful.
Right.
Okay, now, I'm going to conclude by asking you to Google EFIA, E-F-I-A. Pardon me if I sit down. Ooh, this is low. Sister EFIA Nwagaza. Nwagaza. She was one of the pioneers who worked with the person some people call Stokely Carmichael, and Ella Baker, and Fannie Lou Hamer. And you know what Fannie Lou Hamer said about the party that is really the leadership? Trump is not the one here. Trump just turned the oven up. But the fire was always burning. And we were in the pot. And then the water was boiling. But we've been in the water so long, and they've been heating it up gradually, and we didn't have enough sense of a frog to jump out. You know, you put a frog in hot water from the get-go, the frog knows to jump out. You put a frog in cold water, and you heat it up a little, one generation. And then the next generation, you turn it up to warm. And then the next generation, it's close to boiling, and that frog will stay there till it's frog soup. Well, you are in close proximity to frog soup. So Sister Nwagaza and I were talking about that. We were talking about the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party's been treating us, the working class, and poor black people and poor white people like frogs for 4 centuries.
Right.
Okay? And that's where we are right now. The water is boiling because all over the world, it's not just Iran that's sick of America. Half the world is sick of America. And so they've got to steal as much as they can steal abroad. But what happens when they can't steal abroad anymore?
Right.
Who they gonna steal from next?
Right.
Do you think they give a damn if you look like them? If you own something that they want? So nobody has a right to say, I don't want to unite with them. Oh, no. We got to get our shit together. Because if you live here, you really are on the bottom. Not because you're poor or black or working class. You're on the bottom because you have potential for an economy that they want, and they don't want to pay for it any more than they paid the people they call Indians for their land. They want you to work for nothing. So when they get through firing all those hidden figures in Washington, D.C., who ran the federal government, and they think they're going to replace them with AI, they're coming for you next. Because that's what they've always done. It's a capitalist system of greed and death. And so here you're on a very basic level. Every human being is entitled to a place to live and sleep. And that's what these people are fighting for. And the Democratic Party is, like I said, treating us like frogs and making frog soup. And these people know better. They're waking up. So some of our alliances are going to be contradictory. What matters is that whoever wins, we put their feet to the fire. So if there's a politician who's not running and they're in your way, then we've all got to unite to go after them, and we've got to use strategy to do it. And I think this is where Sister, forgive me, I'm just blotting out, Sister Evangeline is coming from. Sometimes you got to swallow shit before you can spit it out. And if you would, somebody who's in the Democratic Party and DSA today, I'm sorry, you're swallowing a lot of shit. I mean, they say for 2 seconds after they say they're going to do something, they change their mind and take it back. Okay, but it's our duty to fight for our freedom, and as Malcolm said, by any
means necessary.
Any means necessary. So I want my comrades who are hurting now, I want you to think about that. And I want to think about how we can stay together, even though some of these contradictions by any means necessary are really hurting us. But I don't want anybody here for 1 minute, including anybody who's listening from DSA, to think we're the typical dumb Negro. I am not your Negro. Okay, and none of these people are your Negro. But the reason I want you to Google Sister Ifeya, she says we're in a perfect strategic position right now.
Yeah.
And after the meeting, and I'm winding it up, I'm sorry. After the service or ceremony or celebration with Sister for Sister Asada, I'm convinced of it. There must have been over 1,000 people there. And they could not get us to stop talking to each other. They could not kick us out. 9:30, 10:30, we're still there, whether the food is still there or not. And finally, one of the sisters said, you know, there's so few times when all of us who are trying to change things can get together and talk to each other and love each other, that when we get that chance, we don't want to leave. And this is what Sister Evangeline is inviting you to participate in. You won't get rich in this struggle, not if you're a real soldier. You should not. What did Castro take out of South Africa? Nothing but dead bodies, right? But he gave those people their freedom. And the Cuban people took nothing but left their soldier warriors there. So if you're in the struggle for human rights, that's your duty. That's what loving and protecting each other means. And it means sometimes you're making decisions that hurt, and you just suck it up, and you keep fighting. Because you got no choice, okay? You want the right to be human, and that's what you're fighting for, okay? But you gotta struggle with each other. And so Sister Ifeya said to me, we are in a stage where we know who to fight, but we have to be clear on when to fight and how to fight, okay? And it's a lot of different groups, and that's what we saw at Riverside Church, which is a Rockefeller church. Big contradictory. The church where Martin Luther King gave his speech about the Vietnamese are human too, and you can't have a civil rights movement. You gotta have a human rights movement because the Vietnamese are human too. You can't pay for a social welfare state if you're an imperialist party blowing up the world, and you know what happened. They killed it. So you gotta know where you are. You gotta know what country you're in. And you gotta know you're on the right side of history. So number one, pay attention to your leader. Number two, struggle with each other. That's the movement. Struggle with each other. You're in the most corrupt capitalist system in the history of human existence. It's not easy. You gotta stop
study. You got to do your homework. You got to learn how the city council is messing up your money. If you don't learn capitalism, you can't fight capitalism. And that's how we got in this situation. It wasn't because there was one corrupt relative who took $5 for a $5 million house. Don't be stupid. They didn't understand capitalism. They really didn't understand it. But they knew they were poor, and they knew they wanted something. But it was the whole system. In certain parts of Florida, they've got caravans of people going around trying to trick people out of their deeds. Wow. But when they can't trick them out of their deeds, what do? They go to a black neighborhood and decide they want a green space. Now, in our neighborhoods where we have houses that they want, we got green spaces like Prospect Park. What are they trying to do? Turn Prospect Park into, you know it, a corporate high-rise empire. So that's bullshit. They will tell any lie to get what they want. Don't be stupid. Talk to each other, strategize with each other, find out where these assholes are taking you. And the minute you know the end game, you know how to fight them. And that's what you're doing here. You're trying to figure out the end game, the best way to fight them. So, I'll give you an example of what we need. Sister Affair in South Carolina, for years they've had a Malcolm X Park event, like the weekend before Malcolm X's birthday. And they've always had problems with the city council getting the permits. And so she said to me, you know what the ruler class does? The minute we win a game, the minute we get a Civil Rights Act passed, they're already strategizing how at least within 10 years they can reverse the effects of that ruling. And if you don't understand capitalism, you can't anticipate what they're gonna do to you. So you have to study. You can't just get up there and hoop and holler like you in church and shout and think God's gonna take care of it. No, God can't do nothing without good soldiers. And don't let any preacher tell you that that's the case, because then that's somebody that's not on your side. So she said what they did is the park that the Africans have always used in this particular state, in city in South Carolina, they took the park and did major renovations and turned half the park into a volleyball court. And then told them, oh, you can't have your event here because the volleyball is for volleyball now. And so she said, no problem. We're going to have a volleyball tournament in honor of Malcolm X. You get the point of the story. You get the point of the story. Come on now. Tell me you understand. Tell me you're smarter than the fascists. Tell me you're smarter than the Nazis. Tell me you're smarter than the racial superiority assholes who try to run your life. Okay. Think strategically. And please, please, forgive me for talking so much.
Without struggle, there is no progress. Give it up for Empress Betty here. Salute. All right. And if we could have a brief word from our candidates, Carmela, Samantha, Candace. Oh, Candace.
She's in the,
Hi, my name is Carmela Charrington. I am running for district leader, District 56 in Bed-Stuy. I am the one that was on the news, 212 Jefferson Avenue. And the reason why we won is because of this right here, community. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. It is because of community. Miss Brady, hopefully you will be proud of us. I do feel, my father wasn't a socialist. My father, like people say about me, was very, you know, we just saw everything from a positive space with anybody and everybody. And I hope you'll be proud of us, because I feel like this movement with Stop D-Theft and every movement, I think everyone is shifting. I think everyone is becoming aware. Everyone wants to get involved. We're being heard. And I know you said you're tired, and we're going to keep the legacy going. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep learning. And
keep loving each other.
And we definitely love each other. We definitely do, in spite of, I'm quite sure you hear little gripes from us, but at the end of the day, just like siblings, you know, like family, we have our differences, but at the end of the day, we really care about one another. So hopefully you will be proud of us, and we are proud of you and all your input and you telling us what we need to do to become better. So that's what our plan is as far as running for district leaders, to just make sure that these judges really consider us as community, consider us, listen to us. You know, when we go to the forum and we listen to them, all they talk about is their accomplishments and where they want to go. I haven't heard, I only went to one, but I didn't hear anyone talk about what they want to do for the community. So that is our goal. So early voting is June 23rd. Look for us, Carmela Charrington, Omar Hartley.
So I have a question. I have a question.
Oh, the 13th. The 13th? June.
21st, 23rd is the vote.
The voting.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does every person who's running for office have a mission statement from the Coalition Against Theft that they are insisting that any candidate who runs in our community must sign, or they should not be elected? Because you have a position, and the Democrats we know are corrupt, okay, and the Green Party is weak, and the Republican Party is unacceptable. But whatever candidate is running, you've got a position out here. If they can't sign it and admit to it publicly that this is what they're going to do and sign, which is a written official document, then they should not be voted for.
Okay, that's something we'll work
I
on.
would like you to think about it. I'm not saying you have to, but it's a way of publicly making them take an
That's
oath.
right.
To you.
And then you stand up like we do with Tish James and tell her, you said you were this, but this is what you did.
That's
you gotta
right.
go.
Right.
Yes, you're absolutely
You
right.
should have been at the debate last night.
Oh yeah, the debate was great.
I thought they checked this.
They did. We thought it was canceled, but
told
they
you
end
that
up.
wouldn't happen.
I think that was part of the plan.
That was strategic.
That was strategic. Yes, we're ready. Samantha Johnson.
SJ.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Shout out to my sister Shannon. We go way back in the gutter. My name is Samantha Johnson. I'm a Fort Greene resident. I am also a NYCHA resident. 20 years of organizing grassroots for my family, doing work in Harlem all the way to Fort Greene. I've been doing organizing, I think, 2013. Yeah, I was with Million Hoodies Movement for Justice. Did a lot of work with FTP, Feed the People, F the Police, whatever you want to name it, it still all applies. And also the Close Rikers campaign. I was a part of the Close Rikers campaign. Then I met, hold please. And then when I realized that they wanted to build jails with $11 billion, I decided to say I'm out. And I decided to go with the No New Jails campaign. And so we rocked out and really terrorized the city until de Blasio would not want to speak with us. And obviously you might still see there's like a bigger conversation about the jail fight. $11 billion has already been spent. ACOM is still doing what they do. And the city and the state is still acting like it's not a problem. But what we were saying is that $11 billion shouldn't be spent on jails. I'm a prison abolitionist. I believe in abolitionists. I believe in dismantling systems. Ironically, I am running for office to disrupt that system. Wish me luck. And so it's important for me when I bring myself into this space, and Shannon can attest and vouch that I give my all into this. I'm not doing this for no paycheck. I could care less. I've told many people, even within the coalition, bump this politician stuff. And my people not being fed. My people not doing what they need to do. If they're not elevating themselves from the poverty of the mindset up to where they need to be in education, then what we doing? Like really what we doing? And so it is really comforting to be in this space, to talk about liberation in a different way, to dismantling systems on a different level. On a political level, which is something that we've always said in my coalition work is about political education, but we got to be able to understand the inside out game and also be able to call folk out and call them in. And so right now, as I'm on this journey, as I pursue the assembly seat, I'm going against the DSAer. And listen, at this point, they everywhere. So with that being said, my gripe is not to talk about DSA, and respect to those who are here, but I will say this, is that I am very fearful of black leadership coming in and masking Democratic nonsense and then sugarcoating it and then feeding it to our people and saying that this is okay. Right. Because we have not done our due diligence within the past 13 years to educate our people about what's good and what's bad and what's not acceptable. So when we get into these spaces, we have to understand what's being told to us, not because it's a person on the pulpit, not because it's a person who is a part of a political party that seems comforting, because black folk have been told to vote Democrat all our lives.
That's right.
And so, although I am on a Democratic line, I do give shout out to Candace, who actually is an independent. I didn't think about it that way, but I was like, let me just try to get this money, right? And that didn't work out either. So I just always say, as a candidate, my root is grounded in political education, and it's always about the struggle. I've struggled for many years. As a NYCHA resident, it is always trying to encourage people just to get better engaged about what fight looks like, because we are always at war. People are using NYCHA and saying that it's okay to be like, hey, I'm fighting for people, but they're not turning our water on. They're not putting our heat on. They're not putting in tickets, right? So we have to talk about how we really want to dismantle systems, how we want to call these elected officials out, and also make sure that we are putting in people who we can also hold accountable. When I get in, Shannon gonna blow up my whole office, like literally. She gonna protest me, and I love it. And I think we need to stop getting people who are afraid or either tell you at the side of their neck one thing or do a photo op and then create a sense of urgency and then disappear afterwards. Like, where's that consistency? So I say all that to say, with love and peace and blessings to you all. That's not my political platform. I will go to a little bit. One is obviously about NYCHA. The other one is about freeing our people and making sure that we do not reinvest in any type of militarization. Also talking about what does reinvestment look in our community, giving our children free education, real free education from trade schools and all of that. Also making sure that small businesses are thriving. Black folk own businesses, y'all, and we're not supporting them. We'll support a bodega that don't even look like us before we support a black person with some, something on African, street market, and it's very seasonal. So how are we reinvesting in our community to make sure that we thrive? And lastly, also making sure that our seniors as well as people with disabilities are highlighted. Disability justice is also a big thing for me, and if we're not talking about them and including them in the conversation, then we're also doing a disservice to our people as a whole. All right, love y'all. If there's questions, I doubt there are, but love y'all. All right, peace. I'm gonna bring Candace up for further comment.
Woo, Sam. Woo.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Candace. I am running for Congress for New York 13, which represents Harlem, East Harlem, Washington Heights, and the Kingsbridge area. So I'm not a career politician. Have I been involved in politics all my life? Basically, pretty much from the time I was 2, my mother let me vote with her. So this is something that's important to me. But in the words of Samantha over there, I most certainly did escape from the Democratic Party. I initially was running as a Democrat, but after getting in the mix of it and seeing I was literally being pushed out of spaces, and DSA is pushing you out, the Democrat Party is pushing you out, and I'm like, I'm tired, I'm ready to escape. So I escaped and went independent. While yes, I know I've been advised multiple times, you may not win as an independent. But after being out every day and talking to the community and petitioning and the whole 9 yards, people are tired. They're very tired. And I think a lot of people don't realize there are more than the Democrat and Republican Party. There's the Green Party, there's the independent parties. If you want, write somebody's name in, right? But people don't realize that there's so many options that's available out there to them. Aside from the fact they're tired of voting and seeing the same people year after year after year do nothing for them. Just this past Thursday, I had the pleasure of going to Lehman House's monthly tenants association meeting, and the feedback that I was getting from the NYCHA residents, they're tired, they're fed up, they're tired of being ignored. Even when I was out petitioning, I got told, oh, don't go in NYCHA, they don't really vote. And that's not true. They vote. They're people. They're They have feelings too. They're going through things too. Pay attention to them. Like I told the NYCHA residents, if they actually all banded together across these 5 boroughs, what they could get done and what they can get accomplished would outweigh anything. Right. And I think we need to now start going back into these communities, and we need to start going back into these communities, talking to them, saying, hey, please come out and vote. You may not necessarily like the candidate, but you have to be the change you want to see in the world. If you don't get up and be that change, you can't continuously sit there and complain. There's no space to do so. We're all leaders in our own rights, right? So I think no matter what background you come from, whether you're into politics, whether you're not, politics are going to be into you regardless of the fact. There's no way to escape it. You take the train, politics. You have a kid in school, politics. You use the hospital, politics. Everything is politics, politics, politics. There's no such thing as I'm not into politics. But we need to go back into educating the community and bringing them out. Yesterday I attended an event, and it was great to actually hear the engagement from people where you realize just how many people are misguided in the civics department. And we need to re-educate. That's the only way we're going to kind of get through this, right? Is if we re-educate our communities. Because if we're not educating our communities, we're going to keep getting lost in the sauce. We got to call it what it is, unfortunately. But I'm glad that I got the invite to come today. And it's important what we're doing together as a community, right? We have to be engaged with one another. We have to be engaged within our community. Right. That's the only way you're going to see change going forward. And back to what Ms. Betty said, right? We have to stop electing people just because. We have to stop just voting down the ballot because we're Democrats, right? Because historically black people have been Democrats. We have to stop voting down the ballot. Do our homework, do our research, see what these people are about. Right. Don't just vote just because they're a Democrat. No, do the homework. Don't wait to the last minute. Do what you need to do. And early voting does start on the 13th, and it is to the 21st, right? I'm correct? Okay. Now, I won't, of course, be on the primary ballot as I'm running as an independent. I will be on the general election ballot. But I implore anybody that is a registered voter, please go out and vote. We don't have time this election to fool around. At this point, we're the last train leaving the station. If we don't get this right, what's happening over the next 2 years? So please, everybody, get out and vote, and let's do this.
And those are the majority of the candidates within our coalition. And, you know, y'all have heard from me, you know, a lot. I am Chief Minister Omar Hardy, and I am running for State Committee District Leader. And, you know, if you're in the Assembly District 56, please look out for me and vote for me. And, you know, just real quick, you know, like Candace was saying, we are not career politicians, we are community protectors, right? So, you know, just real brief, like what got me into this, like I mentioned, the slave theater, the black lady theater, right? What happened to those institutions, what happened to Judge John L. Phillips, you know, it was a political hit, right? And for so long, they planned it. It was an absolute plan. It was a hit, you know. And for so long, I had a bad taste in my mouth when it came to politics, right? I just said, you know what? I'll deal with this on a private side, you know, which we will continue to do, you know. But with strategy, I had to get on that Democratic line to get into a seat. You know, it's a Democratic position. You know, but I've grown to know that politics is essentially everything, as you heard the Empress just say, you know, and, you know, the engagement is the protection, right? So, you know, we're going to get in there. We're going to definitely implement our agenda. We're not going to tick to anybody's top, which they try to do repeatedly. you know, but we have to leverage our voice, because again, people need stuff and our legacy can't wait. So yeah, word of mouth is great. If you're not in the 56th district, and if you are, vote for me, and if not, check us out, because we're doing the work. You know, before all of this, the run, we've been doing the work. You know, so thank y'all so much, and salute.
What parameters does 56 cover, like, from where to where?
You got a large majority of Bedford-Stuyvesant and parts of Crown Heights. So like, if you go a couple of steps, you know, over here in Crown Heights, that's 56. I believe we're in 55.
We on the edge.
We right on the edge, you know. But that's not because that barrier is there, that doesn't stop us from doing the work. Like right now, Tahuti Ma'at is not in District 56, but we are working in a cooperative manner with Tahuti Ma'at, and you know, this is one of our city safe zones, you know, so no barriers is stopping us from, you know, doing the work.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Salute to the king.
Appreciate you, Chief. Right. All right. So I would like to introduce our outreach coordinator. He's going to lead us off with some chants, and in order to get the people going, let's go.
Hello, my name is John Paul Gamillion. I'm the outreach coordinator for InPDUM, as well as the Agitprop leader in the APSB, in our local branch. I want to lead us off on some chants. So it's a call.
I know you guys are hungry. Right after this, we're going to eat. We're going to have Shannon lead us with a shouter chant, and us with a shouter chant right after this. Just wanted to let you guys know. Yeah, just so we keep the people updated, so we know what's going on right after this.
I also want to let you guys know that we were actually planning on doing a walkthrough through the entire community, but due to time constrictions, we're going to do the chant here. And we're also going to pass around a book that you can fill out with your name, email, phone number, whatever you want to do, so that we could continue to get in contact with you guys in order to organize another rally, another walkthrough. All right, so it's a call and response. And the first line is, when the black community is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black children are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Touch one.
Touch all.
Touch one.
Touch all.
Touch one.
Touch all.
Oh. All right, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Some more energy. Some more energy.
All right.
All right.
Good. The energy.
When the black community is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black children are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Uhuru.
Uhuru. Woo!
Hey, again, I want to thank everyone for coming to this event. My name is Feist, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement New York branch treasurer. And this is the part of the event where we start to raise funds for our organization. We definitely want to get to eating. We definitely wanted to do the outreach in the community, because, you know, what we want to do in this space is every last Sunday of each month, we want to do this event. And we want to be able to organize it in such a way that we're going to be able to eat with each other, break bread, and also being able to go into the community to do outreach, right? So this is our first one that we're doing this particular 2026 calendar year, and we're going to keep doing that through the rest of these months coming up. Even when it gets a little bit colder, hopefully it's not too cold where we can't be out here October, November, what have you. But we want to keep this up and grow this, so that every time we come in at the end of the month, there's more of us out here, and also we're bringing in the community from the surrounding area as well, right? So Again, I want to thank all the participants of today's event and the leadership that the comrades have experienced so far. We have a goal that we want to raise $500 today, right? We don't have to raise it all in one time, but even if you pledge to give, to make the donation a success, to make the donation a material reality, again, this is something that's just the beginning, comrades. You know, and we don't use that term loosely, comradeship. We all understand that we're in the struggle, right? As we're working, the people are walking past and they're seeing what's going on. Or who are brother out there by the gate? There's more people walking past and they're seeing us and they wonder what's happening, what are these people doing, what are these people about, right? And we're working on getting our presentation together in terms of outreach and being able to give something to the people like the young people have here with all the design. I got like a whole booklet that I got to read through. Probably going to take me the rest of the week, but that's the type of political action we got to have in our communities and go out to these communities and pass it to the people walking around outside. Go right through the projects, because that's where our revolutionaries are at, and that's where the main target is, right? So we got to be out there. So this is just the beginning of a lot that we have coming up this summer. So I wanted to start off with the donations. I'm going to make sure that I donate $25 for the next 4 weeks to raise to make $100, and that means you only need to raise another $400. If you're able to just donate the whole $400 one time, that's great. We'll take that $400 donation. If there's a few people, 4 people that can donate $100, I'll take that. Or 8 for 50, or you pledge 50, or hoodoo, bro. That gives us 150. So that means you have another 350 to raise. Can anyone donate or make a pledge to donate? And I'll make sure they get your contact. Hoodoo, you have another 50. That gives us $200. So we just have another $300. What do we have over here? I can't talk fast like they do on you know, give me 45, 50, 60, whatever. I can't do that. I can't do it. 20 right here, and the 50 there, 100 over Hoodoo, bro. Hoodoo sister. Oh man, I gotta write this stuff down. Thank you so much. 20? 320, that's our mathematician, Comrade Rafiq right here. So that's 320 right there. What do you got, brother? 20 over here? Fantastic, brother. Thank you so much. And I think we meet our donation at that point, right? Our mathematician, does that bring us to?
We got 60 more to go.
60 more dollars to go. So that's 6 people with $10, or it's 12 people with $5, right? What's that, brother? You got 20? Or hoodoo? Right on.
20, yeah.
3 people with 20. See, we testing our math. Thank you. $40 more to go. Ah, 20. Oh yeah. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you. Oh, hoodoo. Samantha's free. Oh, we got it on the spot. No cash out. Okay, we got cash. Oh, we got time. Oh, hoodoo. Oh, hoodoo. Right on. Thank you so much. Right on. So I think we've exceeded our donation pool. We've exceeded that. But y'all, I'm always coming to people say when you have a donation like, hey, we should maybe lower it. You always give the people an opportunity to participate, to exceed our goals. And anytime when we fight, we win. Every time when the people fight, we win. So thank you, everybody, for giving for this particular event right here, right? We're gonna make sure that y'all gotta hold me accountable. Everybody's recorded, right? But look, to make sure $25 each week from now to the rest of this 4 weeks, I'm getting my $100. And when y'all see me on the street or fights, did you make your donation? Just like I held everybody accountable here, we hold each other accountable. And we're gonna make this revolution happen, right? We're gonna make this revolution happen. When I say touch one, you say touch all. Touch one! Touch all! Touch one! Touch all! Touch one! Touch all! Right on, a hoot, everybody. So let's get the place together. We want to keep the program going. We have a call for membership that's going to happen, but we want to do that while you're eating. So as you're eating, you know, we make these calls as we move through the rest of the program because we want to take advantage of your time. We don't want to keep you here all night. It's already past 6. Our program is supposed to go from 4 to 6. So we want to be disciplined with how we do our work and how we organize each other, right? Thank you so much. And clap it up for yourself once again. Thank you so much. All right.
And we love that. Clap it up. Clap it up. Let's go. You can also visit Tehuti Ma'at. That's TEHUTIMAAT.org. And you can find out all about everything that we're doing here. I also want to let you all know, I love how quickly we were all just able to raise some resources for our people. And because I already know how quickly we can do that, I'm going to tell y'all about another opportunity that you can have to help us raise some resources for the community garden here. And that is we have launched a crowdfunding campaign. Our goal is to raise $10,000 this season to be able to support the work that is happening here, to bring more programming, to allow everything that is here, all of the food that is here, that is planted here, is organic food for the people. And so we want to make sure that there's access to food and to healthy food for you. So those, I just wanted to just give that offer to everyone. And if anybody is interested in membership, you can come and see me, or I'll come and see you. Thank you. Membership for the garden, for the Tahuti Ma'at Garden. Oh, yes. Also, we do have an event coming up on Thursday, this Thursday, June the 4th. It is called Lyrical Baptism. It is a open mic spoken word event where we have curated artists that are coming to perform. And if you feel like you have something to say, you get a chance to hop on the mic as well. So to music, to whatever you want, Miss. Even if you want to do a little dance, I thought you was, okay, I thought Miss Betty was going to get on the mic, but anyways, we hope to see you guys on Thursday, but I will give the program back over to the beautiful people of InPDUM. Hey.
My hands are busy.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, guys.
All right. And we're going to start dinner now. If you could arrange a line and if you guys are hungry, I know the people are hungry. Okay. Yeah. We open up the floor for discussion. If anybody wants to say anything, talk about how they're feeling, anything that they learned today. Mr. Rafiq, how are we feeling?
I'm chilling, man.
He's chilling.
Yeah, I just wanted to go into it again about Rondell Purnell. Rondell Purnell, I knew him since he was a baby. I knew he was like 4 or 5 years old. He made it out here until he was 20. They snatched him up. They was accusing him of something that happened in the Bronx. He was in Harlem at his sister's birthday party. He been in the joint. He been on this bubble for 48 years, and more than half of that was in the joint, or something that he wasn't even there. So, I'm gonna write a article for the Burning Spear. I don't know if it's gonna get published or not. I hope it is. I don't know when, but I hope it's soon. But I want to begin to enlighten the world about this particular case. And that's not different from a lot of cases that are out there, because for anybody that has gone through the system, they've known a lot of people that got railroaded and so on. That's what the courts do, and we don't have no power, that's what happens. It happens on so many different fronts. So basically, every time we get together regarding whatever, whether it be about sitting having a meal or coming in here, to do some planting or whatever, we got to think about how we're going to build power. We're going to build back power in our own black hands. So I just want to get up and talk a little bit more to put the name out there again, because it's like a shame. I'm gonna try to get up there on a Wednesday to see him. He up in the Have. I'm gonna try to see him and talk to a little bit more about details and whatnot. I want to try to get the article out on him as soon as possible and whatnot. So I just want to remind you all of that. Rondell Purnell must be free.
Thank goodness I wore my heels today. Greetings, everyone. My name is Sasha, also known as Honorable Sasha from Dr. World Group, where we contribute to overcoming dehumanization. I want to thank Chief Minister Omar Hardy for inviting Dr. World Group in this area, in this Tahuti Garden. It is absolutely connected to what we're talking about as far as being able to contribute to overcoming dehumanization and have a solidarity the human rights awareness. And that's one of the most important spaces when even talking about deed theft, when talking about campaigning, when talking about eating right, when talking about equity, when talking about the youth and the work that we do. It's a solidarity that we're coming together to do. And I appreciate this space. I appreciate this time to share that with you. I am a chair of Save Our Children Committee, so I want to be able to work with the youth and give you a space on an international level to engage and share the work that you're doing across the board. Working with Tahuti Garden, we want to be able to talk about right foods, because let's be real, if you are going to be responsible for your equity, your housing, your homes, you have to eat right to think right. And you have to think right to protect your things, right? Because everybody needs something, like the campaigning brother here, Omar, has said. And so these are the main things that we should have in our arsenal to be able to fight the spaces and places that we deem a sanctuary. And so this space, we also want to introduce you the United Nations of Mayors 6th Region Red Card Campaign Sanctuary Asylum. If you see me around, as Sharice said, come get a card for me and we'll talk about it some more. But remember, our responsibility is a human right. It's our responsibility to articulate how our life is going to be. And in solidarity through human rights, we can achieve that together. We are together. Ubuntu. Uhuru.
Just want to take a second to introduce some of our NICARC members, folks who are working hard to free other imprisoned folks, as well as to free Darrell Mickles. Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamila. Peace and blessings. I know everyone wants to eat, so please feel free to get your food and eat while I just quickly talk. I'm a member of New York City Anti-Repression Group. We're the folks that have a lot of the polyad and literature at the table, and we have a host of campaigns and committees. And I'm also a Pan-Africanist, so I just would say that I do understand that as a Pan-Africanist, as a African born in the United States, it's my responsibility to uplift and support the decolonization efforts and the struggles on the continent, but also the struggles that are happening here amongst our brothers and sisters. And so that's why I joined NICARG, which is New York City Anti-Repression Group. So I just wanted to quickly kind of walk through some of the work that we're doing. In case for some of y'all, this is the first time you're hearing about us. We've been around for about a year, and so we just wanted to walk through all of our the good stuff that we're trying to do in the community. So firstly, we are doing a lot of prisoner support across 5 facilities, currently supporting 15 prisoners in Rikers and state prisons across the state. This includes making regular in-person visits to Rikers. So almost every week we have some of our membership going to Rikers and making visits to individuals that we're supporting inside. We also provide commissary and material support, and we're trying to help to build a political, educated cadre of within Rikers and supporting that type of effort. We also have been arranging transportation for family members visiting loved ones in Rikers and building reentry resources for incarcerated survivors that are back in the community. We also have an active jail support committee that assists with locating individuals that have been arrested and posting bail for them when that's needed. Our jail support really focuses on individuals in the community that do not have support, but we also provide support to protesters and activists. So, most recently with the Delaney Hall situation, we've been on the ground there supporting folks that have been arrested there as well. We also provide politicized and long-time aftercare and maintain relationships to continue to organize with incarcerated survivors once they're free. And then we also host a monthly letter writing gathering and where we engage in anti-imperialist and also community events like this where we're able to raise awareness about some of the political and prisoner campaigns that we're supporting. So I kind of just want to walk through some of the campaigns. We have, as I said, a host of individuals that we're working with, but I just want to raise a few of them. So one of them is Deshawn. This is an individual that is at Rikers right now, and they have a racist judge. And we've talked about judges already today, but their judge is Jung A. Park, who has fabricated illegal and unfair justifications for denying Deshawn's bail requests 4 separate times. So completely making these fabricated reasons for denying his bail and not allowing Deshaun to be free. So we've been working with Deshaun and his family to try to liberate him while his case is ongoing. Another campaign that we're supporting is Ja'Kai McCrae. He's facing grossly inflated vandalism charges for allegedly defacing a statue at Columbia University and burning cop cars. He's going to be sentenced soon and is facing prison time. And then another one, which was already mentioned earlier in the programming, and we also have flyers, is Darrell Mickles. We have his banner on the front of the garden. There was a mass shooting in 2024 by NYPD. Because where they followed him and began to shoot violently, escalated the whole situation because he allegedly did not pay $2.90 in subway fare. He's been at Rikers for almost 2 years now, and his trial is going to start next week on June 3rd. So we really need folks to come out and let people know, because the jury is going to be pulled from Brooklyn, and we really need the judge, the jury, to know that he has community, he has people there who are supporting him. And we also have a website that we have for him, justicefordarrell.com, where you can learn more about his case and just let your neighbors know, let your family know, and show up as you can and share about his case, because there's going to be a trial in the courtroom, but we also need to have a trial in the streets and let people know that he is supported. If you're interested in learning more about NYCARG, please feel free to approach myself or other members that are over by the table. And if you're not interested in joining but you want to volunteer, we also have a volunteer group where people can plug in. And we also have Instagram, New York City Anti-Repression Group. And we have 2 upcoming events, one on June 19th, where we'll be organizing a Repression Breeds Resistance event fundraiser for Ja'Kai Support Committee. Where is that going to be? Woody Hall on June 19th, probably like 6 p.m. And then we also have another letter writing. We had one this past weekend, actually, Friday. But we're going to have another one June 26th. And so you can find more information about both of these events on our Instagram. But thank you so much for listening, and enjoy your food.
Thank you for being involved in that. Thank you. All right, so we're going to do the Asada chant, y'all. I know everybody is getting their food. Try not to do this with your mouth too full, pause. And usually when we do the Asada chant, what that means is it's the end of the event that the organizers have planned for you. And they hold no responsibility for your safety and welfare once you leave this event. However, you are free to continue to turn up as you please. So those of us from NYCARG that are willing and able, we gonna hit the street a little something and continue to get this word out about Darrell Mickles and the surrounding community before we going about our business. But we're taking ownership of that. So thank you, Sister Betty, on the Love and Protect. So we're gonna do it a little something like that. So can we have everybody's attention for about 30 seconds while we do this chant? It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Let's make it louder. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. All right, so the Kingsborough can hear us. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Asheo. Enjoy the food. Thank you to Hootie Ma'at Garden. Thank you so much.